Dr. Marie Fang. Welcome to our third video in this series taking a look at the life of Job and the suffering that he really went through. Well, where we left off, Job just received this terrible news about his livestock, his servants, and his children passing away. And this happened to him even though he's a good person. And as we carry on in the story in chapter 2, now Job has another tragedy happen to him. His skin gets covered in some kind of open sores, and now he's suffering terribly, not just through this tragic news about his world and his loved ones, but he is personally experiencing the suffering directly. So where we're going to pick up is where his friends show up. And I'm grateful for this part of the story. I think it's quite powerful and there's something to learn here. So let's take a look at what Job's friends do here. In chapter 2, starting with verse 11, it says, "When Job's 3 friends, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, heard about all the troubles that had come upon him, they set out from their homes and met together by agreement to go and sympathize with him and comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they could hardly recognize him. They began to weep aloud, and they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads. Then they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word to him, because they saw how great his suffering was." I don't know if you've heard the story of Job before, but for me, oftentimes when I hear other people share this story, they often gloss over this part because we hear a little bit more about Job's friends later, and they make some unhelpful choices. But before we get to that part, what wonderful friends these guys are. I mean, here, who knows what they had to set aside from their lives and how far away they lived and all of that. But these 3 guys gather together, go find Job, and when they see him and how unrecognizable he is because of all his open sores, they cry. I mean, they join him, they set aside time with him. It says they spend 7 days and 7 nights in silence, just grieving with Job. What wonderful friends, and in my opinion, a wonderful model for friendship and joining together with our loved ones and those we care for in their suffering. Because honestly, this is all we really have in our power, is to just wait in silence, to cry together, and just let our loved ones who are suffering share first. So I encourage you to reflect on this a little bit. If you're experiencing suffering, to be able to sort of name and ask for that from your loved ones if they're trying to fix all your problems or they're being unhelpful in other ways, to say, you know what I need? I just need you to stay with me quietly. I mean, you can cry. You can sometimes say, I don't know what to say. I just don't even know what to say because it doesn't make sense. To name what would be helpful to you from your loved ones can be helpful for them and in turn be helpful to you. Or maybe you are the friend, or you're mentoring someone, or you're in a scenario where you know someone who's suffering. I encourage you to try this. I know it's so tempting. We want to be able to fix it. It must be something you did, or let's change this, that, and the other. It'll be better. Maybe it's not so bad after all. And honestly, those things are just not helpful. Especially initially, we just need someone to be okay with our pain and to sit in that pain with us, as uncomfortable as that is, whether it means you cry together, you sit in silence together, or you're just available for whatever is needed and to wait patiently. So I encourage you to reflect on that today, and we'll come back to Job and his friends in the next video, but I hope you found some of these thoughts in this video helpful to you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.